Hey, what's up guys? My name is Steven Boylo, and I'm going to go over ambient occlusion renders for showing off either your objects or your environment scenes for class. So, let's go ahead and dive into it. Now for objects, you want some kind of backdrop for your scene. So I'm going to create a plane here on the entire floor. And then go into edge mode, grab these two corner edges, go ahead and extrude those up. Just gonna make a quick backdrop here, and then grab these three edges, and edit mesh bevel, and increase the segments all the way up. And then you can just go ahead and delete these extra faces there. And you can make your backdrop a little bit bigger. And there we go, that's all we need. So now to start, you want to go to Edit, select All. That way every object in your scene is selected. Come down into the Render tab next to Display. And, delete that. Okay. So then once you're here, click on this button all the way to the right. Now that'll create a new layer with everything you have selected. So select Layer 1, right click, Attributes. Now it didn't take me there the first time, so go ahead and go back into your channel box and just do it again. And it'll take you right to it. Then you're going to go to Presets, Occlusion. Now if you can't find Occlusion here, go ahead and go to Window, Settings and Preferences, Plugin Manager. Then you want to scroll all the way down and make sure Maya to MR, so that means Maya to mental rays. Make sure both these are checked. And go to Presets Occlusion. And then everything will turn black like this. So now we're ready to pose our camera how we want it. And before you render anything, I always turn on this little guy. It's called Resolution Gate. So go ahead and click that, and then that'll show you exactly what your camera's seen. So now go ahead and frame your camera here. And I'm going to click on Render. Alright, so there's the choo-choo train render. I sped up the video, that way you're not waiting. But you see the data's down here. So that took 43 seconds to render. And I always click this one, and yeah. So that's our render. That's just with the default settings. Now over here in your shaders settings. Now if you deselect this, the way to get back into it is select any object. Any object in your scene, hold down right click, and go down to material attributes. And then if it doesn't come up the first time, just do it again. And then it should be there. Then on out color, click the little play button. So now if you click this, this will open up our last render. And so samples, so you see all the little grains there? That's because there's low samples. So now you would just keep doubling this number, so 32, 64, but we can go ahead and jump straight to 128. And then we can just click this button to save the snapshot. So keep image, and you can compare other images you've taken. So we'll go ahead and render that again. Now this will take more time because it's a higher resolution, so I'll speed up the video again. Alright, so there's that render. You see down here it took 1 minute and 22 seconds. So, but you see if you compare it side to side, I don't know if you can tell, but you can see grain here, and then it kind of goes away. So the higher that number is, it'll get rid of the grain, but just keep in mind it will take considerably longer. Alright, so now, once we got our render to how we like it, I think now would be a good time to go into display render settings. Click this one. And if we just scroll all the way down, we can click on HD 720 or 1080. We'll do 1080 for funsies. And you'll notice your frame will change, so you might have to repose your camera because you don't want anything you want in your scene to get cut off. So I'm just gonna put it here. And you can increase your resolution pixels per inch, but that's up to you. So I can exit out of that, and I'm gonna speed up the video again because it will take it might take about 5 minutes because of the high res. And yeah. Alright, so here's our render. If we blow up the window, you see it kind of looks jaggedy, but yeah, whether you zoom in or out. But you always want to hit the 1:1 because that'll display its true resolution. So then you see we have our nice smooth edges. We can see all our details and whatnot because it's 1080 res, so HD quality. So then, you know, once you have that, you can go to File, Save Image, Desktop, blah blah, and yeah. So then you can save your image and all that. So that's pretty much it for this tutorial. Just one other thing I want to go over with is if you go back into your channel box, you can toggle back into here. Now, if you now some of your scenes might be in a cave or in an enclosed area, and your renders might come out really dark. So so as an example, I'll create this as a little cave, and then yeah. Then I'm gonna go ahead and put the resolution back down to 640 by 480. That way I can just render quickly. And then one other thing is that when I click on layer 1, you see that my backdrop disappears. Well, all I'd have to do is, you know, I'd go to edit, select all again, then click layer 1, right click it, add selected objects, and all my stuff is back in that layer. So now, if I were to, I'm also gonna hold down right click, go into material attributes, then put this back down to 16. That way I'm not sitting here forever for test renders. Alright. So now if I were to render this, it should come up really dark. And it'll look really bad, as you can see. So there's our render. You can see it's super dark. And the reason is because it takes the light, it makes light from all open areas. So it's acting like there's just a light coming through this side of the box. So what we'd want to do is, yeah, in case your scene's like in a cave or something, you might run into this. So go and hold down right click, material attributes, and hit the little play button on out color. And on max distance, now the higher the number is, it'll make it darker. But if we have it to like 10, so I think 10 would make it like really bright. So I'm gonna click this button to save the frame and then hit render. So there's our render, but you see it's kind of obnoxiously bright and it looks really bad. So on max distance, let's take that up to 50. So it being at 50, then I'll save the frame, and you know, you can clearly see the difference if you toggle it back and forth. So I'll put the max distance to 50 and take another render. So you can see that looks much better already. You know, you can slide it side to side. And you know, colors aren't getting blown out at the top, so that's good. And you know, you might even want to take it to 100 or 75, you know, wherever you like. And just keep in mind, you always want to do this at a low resolution. And then once you have everything how you like, then you change the settings back to 1080 and change the samples all the way to 128, and then do that as your last render. Because you don't want to be sitting here 5-10 minutes at a time, just sitting here staring at your monitor. So you want to get all the kinks worked out here, and then as your very last step, increase the render settings. So there you have it. That's what I know on occlusion renders. Hope this all helps out, and email me if you have any questions, and I'll see you in class. Have a good one.